So you can take the challenge?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, you only live once. I figured why not.
You know you can lose a lot of points.
But I can gain a lot of points as well, and that's the way I'm looking at it. I like long range, so I'm going to do it.
You're a confident shooter. I know that. A very experienced shooter.
Thank you. I'll take all 3 shots.
Three shots, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
While the rest of the contestants were finishing their rappel and climbing evolutions, Rey Helmes volunteered to take the Pinnacle shot, or what we like to call roll the dice. Rey's a good shooter, but it's a questionable strategy. With 3 shots at 50 points each, he could gain 150 points, but he could also lose 150 points.
There's potential for a 150-point gain right there.
Or 150 loss, but either way, you know, this is a lifetime experience, once in a lifetime experience, and you know, I'm doing well, finally broke into the top 10, glad to be here, so why not? This could boost me more. If it drops down, I'll just have to work that back up.
We are in Vegas, it's a betting area.
There you go.
That's right.
Randy, if I had a bet that your points are going to go up, I think I would bet that your points are going to go up today.
Well, I appreciate that.
I'm with you.
O'clock high, 30 inches.
Whoa! Yeah!
Like that?
Hit! Nice shot!
Hey, no wind. Yeah!
You know, I've got a lot of viewers on my YouTube channel that would kill me if I wouldn't have hit that thing, because we do 700-yard shots offhand. I figured the wind was a left to right. I'd already checked it. Grip is actually pretty unique. I don't know if you guys have checked it out. It's medieval. It's an adjustable grip, so you can have cant to it. You can go vertical with it, so it's a really unique platform. It was worth the gamble. I did make 50 points. So yeah, I think it's a great platform. I appreciate the opportunity, guys.
You know the whole story, how life's not fair, and people are going to get screwed out of things. This is how it is. But I do know it was a disadvantage today on the ropes course because it got shut down, and a lot of you would have kept going. And I know not everybody had the chance to keep going because where you were in line, or if you went somewhere else and did something else. But that's going to continue happening here and everywhere else you go in life. But what I'm trying to do is figure out a way to make it up a little bit for you. And I think I have a plan. And it's, of course, optional. So if anybody just got to the point of being disadvantaged because they didn't get to go up the wall as many times as they wish they could have, could you just put your hands up, a show of hands? Maybe 5, 6, 7 people? Okay, you can gain up to 50 points doing this. It's only going to take less than 15 minutes, over 10 minutes somewhere. And what this will involve is you'll do this particular exercise and you'll get graded if you make the 5-minute point. If you make that 5-minute point, who's ever still there doing the exercise, the person who remains there the longest gets 50 points. The person who remains there second longest gets 45 points. The person who remains there the third longest gets 40 points, and so on. If you last for up to 4 minutes and 59 seconds, it's just a good workout, but no points. If you last over 5 minutes, you're in the point running.
Okay.
And you're eligible for up to one person will get 50 points. 10 climb walls worth of points.
It was a competitive evolution to go up the climbing wall, and that caused some discontent among competitors. And so they complained to Don, and Don had a great solution. Was great, you know, I've got an idea that you can earn back the points that you feel like you deserved but weren't given the opportunity. Let's go put our feet up on bleachers and get in the front leaning rest position. And so he said, but for the first 5 minutes, if you quit, you get 0 points. And after that, we'll start accumulating points based on who drops out.
So all this is gonna be, your feet are gonna be up on the bench and you're down in the plank position. And you could transfer from plank to leaning rest. Your feet are up on the first row, plank to leaning rest. The one thing we can't have for planks is resting on your arms, okay? It's planks out here, leaning rest. We'll time it, we'll say go, and we hope everybody who does it will stay for 5 minutes or more, because then you're in for the points running. If you go beyond the 5 minute point, boom, you're in for the score. Who wants to do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful.
I was very surprised that most of the vocal people didn't even put their feet up on the bleachers.
Okay, go ahead, get your feet up on the bottom bench. Remember, you can do planks or leaning rest. You can't rest on your elbows.
Tell me when.
10 seconds.
I just want to be here for 5 minutes. Let me know when the 5
On your marks, get set, go. Everyone who's here at the 5 minute mark will get scored and get extra points. Planks or leaning rest. Toes on the bench. Yeah, toes on the bench, no flat feet. Chris will call out the times. Leaning rest or planks, you can back and forth if you wish.
The plank and front leaning rest positions were probably my least favorite physical evolution, only because, you know, you're there for that long that your arms go numb, and when your arms go numb from that length of calisthenic, they stay numb for a long time.
Hey, does a mission require a plumber?
Oh, crack kills, man.
Smells good though.
Definitely need to get some sun on it.
Make sure you don't put the camera lens in there. Make sure you don't put the camera lens.
Keep your toes on the bench. Toes, not the flat of your feet. It's got to be your toes on the bench.
Allie, get up on one arm and turn sideways a little bit. If you can. There you go.
That helped a little bit.
Yeah. Once you get the technique down, relax your chest. After that day, my hands were numb until the following evening. I didn't have fine motor control of my hands, you know, for over 24 hours. There were some very, very strong willpower people that toughed it out for a very long time.
20 seconds, folks. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. You're in the money, honey.
Okay. Wait, right? Okay. Okay.
She's in the money though, right? Yep. In the money. Nice job. Nice job. 10 points.
Yeah.
That took you less than 6 minutes to get 10 points. It's a good strategy.
We were told that they were going to have 50 points. The person who lasted the longest would get 50 points. So I did the math, and there was less than 10 people. So I knew as long as I could last 5 minutes, I'd make 10 points. So I fell at 5 minutes.
Okay. Wait, right?
I am not good at planks or standing planks, but the two people to my left and right were really motivating too. So my goal, 5 minutes, I made it, I'm good.
Welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the light. It's burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher.
up, kiddos?
I'm a man eater.
You're eating them up. A lot of them.
That's funny, I think. Do you think it's funny? I think it's funny.
It's a little brutal. I got longer limbs, so a little bit more to leverage-wise to try and hold up in the plank. But it was good. It was a good little exercise. Opportunity to get some more points here in the competition.
And it's nothing for you, is it?
Well, I'm just waiting for people to drop, man.
Didn't rest on your head.
You know, like, come on, I just ate lunch. This isn't fair.
What's the time now, Chris? 8:21 right now.
I'd rather climb the wall 10 times. Go do it. I'll hang out here and watch. We got it on camera. All right. What he just said about that. That's so cool.
Not.
Hold on, yeah.
We got,
Did we hit 35? I hear 35, so 35. It's pretty good, simple, you know, hold yourself up. Pretty much did the front lane arrest the whole time for my army, so that's where we live our lives. You know, the whole thing I fight here is the bad ankle. I got screws and plates in both of them, so the on the toes thing's hard, but it puts more weight forward, so I get why they're doing it, and you know, I lasted a while. I'm pretty happy with it. 35 points added to the stack.
It's all up here.
you're right. 45.
I think I'm done. I'm dead.
45.
Here we go, Chris.
Great job, guys.
Strong work.
Well, when we got down to one arm, my whole wrist down to my fingertips fell asleep, and so I was having a hard time stabilizing. So, otherwise, I feel like I'm stronger than I was yesterday. I feel like I'm redeemed because I failed at some things yesterday, but I'm feeling pretty confident now.
Well, I mean, at some point your muscles just give out, but I feel pretty good about that. I just smoked some of the top young guns, so I feel pretty good. Plus, I just got some points back because I just destroyed myself yesterday and went out of the top 10, so maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get back in there tomorrow.
Well, I didn't quit. We were able to be in the front leaning rest or the plank position, and you can see that the ground here is not perfectly smooth. So when I went into the plank position, you know, I got a little scratch. Noticed there was blood in the ground, so I was just trying to figure out where it was coming from, and then got back to business. It's really fun watching everybody try hard, and that's what it's all about.
Can I get a raise of hands? Who's been in a war zone before? I know there's a bunch of you. Okay, anybody been attacked in a vehicle before? A bunch of you, a bunch of you. So this is gonna bring it home to you guys. So what this is gonna be, it's a drill you often see in the US government or the military. The scenario is you're in some country overseas, you don't have your long gun with you, you only have your pistol with you, and you're gonna hear, boom, your car's been disabled, VBIED, you can't get off the X. You're stuck on the X. You can't back off, you can't go forward, you're stuck on the X. The only thing you do is bail out. When you bail out, both doors open up. Is everybody familiar with shooting through the V? When you open up a car door, there's a V. The door's here and the car door's here. When you shoot that weapon, we need you through the V, okay? Before the weapon's fired. So what's gonna happen, you're gonna be pretending you're driving through some bad country over there, and boom, 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 both doors open. You're gonna have camera guys on right and left, okay? The weapon has to be pointed downrange the whole time. The V's gonna open, the door's gonna open. and you can see the targets you have. You're gonna have targets to your right is blue, then you come inward, it's red, and then there's a longer shot. Elvis is here, show you another course of fire with the FX BRNO. It's going to give you a short description of the weapon, the characteristics.
Today we're going to be shooting the FK BRNO PSD model.
The PSD is a multi-caliber platform, and it's the most sophisticated and capable multi-caliber pistol in the world. Of course, it's originally chambered in the 7.5 FK, the round that made FK BRNO famous. But the big news about the PSD is that it's not just chambered in the most powerful and capable pistol cartridge in the world, it's also chambered in the most popular 9mm NATO.
So basically what you're going to do is you're going to point it out, get a nice established grip, make sure you got sight alignment, nice good stance, and let that recoil work itself.
What we were able to do is pull in a vehicle and reenact a threat engagement from being buckled up as a driver or passenger in the car, get out, open the doors, and engage a threat. They had a series of targets, and the people on the left and right shot a series, and whoever did it faster or more accurate, you got the points, and the other person didn't get the points.
So today we got to do a roll out of the car scenario. We were simulating if your car was disabled and there were threats in front of the car, how you would approach those threats. So we learned to take off your seatbelt, open the door, shoot through the triangle between the door and the windshield, using the door as coverage for yourself. And that was a lot of fun. They had smoke grenades to try to distract us, and we got to do a man-on-man competition for that. I hit all my targets, and I beat my competitor, so that was pretty awesome.
Contact front!
Contact, contact, contact.
When one of the contestants, Regina, was missing a partner, Randy Couture filled in. Could be a mixed blessing if you think about it. Randy's a good shot. But turns out, Regina held her own.
Nice shooting.
That long one's a long ways.
Let's go, Panda Bang.
So far, the funnest part of this has been the shooting part. I mean, I've been competing and shooting for about 55 years. It started in Scouts when I was about 10 years old. I actually won the first, scouting competition I was actually in when I was about 12 or 13. Always been a great team player, and that's kind of what's fun about going on here is trying to watch the team form and the personalities evolve and just be there and support everybody and be the happy person, because that's what I do.
Being on the X is deadly. The more seconds that go by, the more likely you're not going to make it off that X. The bad guys come to where the attack was quickly. So the point is getting off the X. If your car wasn't disabled, that'd be stepping on the gas. If you're being shot at, the engine block stops rounds. So what you want to do is get that engine block between you and the assaulters. If the weapon fires coming at you this way, you get behind the engine block and fire back if you can. If the enemy's this way, get behind the engine block and put the engine block between you and the fighters. When we talked about cover and concealment the other day, an engine block's always cover. And you always have that, no matter where the enemy fire is, just get that engine block between you and that enemy. And that's super basic stuff, but it's nice to think about if you do get attacked in a vehicle, because you always have cover. Today, we're getting into the tactical. And so they were doing vehicle bailouts. And vehicle bailouts, they had targets here. There was 5 targets set up. We had a vehicle here. And the scenario was they were in bad man territory. They had the seat belts on, and the vehicle, boom, they hit a roadside bomb, a VBIED, vehicle-borne IED, and they couldn't get off the X. And the X is where the action happens. And for real, if they could have, they would have drove off the X. The X means they were being attacked. Then 5 targets appeared, and they had to fight the way out of that car. So they were taught to take off that seatbelt without looking down, keeping your eyes out for the threat, getting out of the vehicle as quickly as you can, because what's going to happen, the enemy's going to swarm you and people just die on the X. You have to get off that X. And then they fought through the V. They opened up the doors and they fought through the V. And there's some really good shots. They're long shots too.
Yeah. It was a 75-meter shot with a pistol, a 9mm pistol. That's a long shot. So, and I think the shortest was still 25 meters, right?
So, which is a long shot.
Still a long shot with a pistol. So 25 meters, 35 meters, and then 75 meters. That's a very long pistol shot.
Pistols are meant for conversational distance, not for weapon distance. And then there is to ramp up their heart rates and all. Smoke was being thrown and grenades, and their hearts are pounding. Then they have to take those shots and control their breathing and taking those shots.
Definitely a little more on the tactical side and a bigger challenge. So probably not very many people in the group have done that type of training before.
Yeah, I think just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple. With Iraq and Afghanistan, when the war turned to killing people on the roads and on the attacking vehicles, there were more and more people being killed on the roads and vehicles. Humvees, convoys, supply vehicles, you name it. They're planting roadside bombs into dead dogs on the side of the road, into garbage bags, and when you go by it, boom, vehicle blows up. And so there was a tactic that they were beating us, and we had to try to figure out a way to defeat that tactic. And so this came up. We got to start training on vehicle ambushes, vehicle attacks, what happens if you're on the X. It's supposed to happen, you get off the X and get off as quickly as you can, but in this case, they couldn't get off the X, so they had to fight the way off the X. But to answer your question, Army does it, Navy, Marine, everybody who deploys overseas and badland territory, it's training if you're a fighter. If you're a shooter and an assaulter, that is what you have to do. If you're going out in bad man territory, that you have to have that training.
It's about settings. Yes, a Vietnam area, you get ambushed in the jungle, and that's a whole different setting. Most of the warfare now is taking place in urban environments, so there's buildings and roads and alleyways and things like that. So you have to adapt to that environment, and that's what this was today.
No leaderboard on this one. Half the contestants got 10 points, the others didn't.
They did really well for the first time going through that. And then they were all excited, all hyped up with all the grenades and the smoke. And it was getting a little warmer and a little warmer, and then we had to break the news on them what was coming up next, which happened to be a 5-mile desert run.
was left without my running shoes and my shorts because my boss decided to take my car. So I ran it in some pants and some boots, and I won.
Make sure.
I'm the f***ing champ!
Yes, right, baby.
In f***ing boots and pants. Chumps, everyone else. I'm in incredible pain right now. Hopefully I can walk tomorrow morning. The dust hitting me in the face from the camera crew driving in front of us the entire time. It's like being attacked by the Mummy Returns. If I'm hacking up brown stuff tomorrow morning, it's probably from you guys. It was a good time though. I haven't ran through the desert ever. And I don't run. After I got hurt overseas, I haven't ran for about 2 years. My leg still hurts from being injured overseas.
What happened?
Hand grenade. Yeah.
Friendly or?
No, enemy. So we were in Afghanistan going after ISIS people, and this guy was hiding in a drainage ditch, and when we came upon him, he got up and flung a hand grenade at us. We shot him, and then we kind of realized there was still a hand grenade in front of us, and we kind of dispersed and it exploded. The only reason we all survived is because the dog that was with us, she chased the hand grenade, took most of the blast. But yeah, that kind of messed up my left leg. That's why I got out. Is I can't really feel like the bottom part of my leg right here. So and also I have drop foot, so I can raise this foot, but I can only raise the toes of my left foot like this. And running is not a pleasant event for me, just because my gait is off. It kind of hurts, but sometimes like to get through these things, if you really want it, is to just suffer through it. And I'm probably gonna pay for it later. But I'm looking forward to the rest of the event.
Nick, man, that guy's an animal. He has no quit in him. And he separated himself from the pack, and he just flipped a switch, and I think that's freaking awesome. You know, it's nice to see people be able to dig deep and put out like that. He's definitely, you know, a very, very strong and competitive person with lots of skill sets, and it's cool to see. I think there's a handful of folks here that are probably going to, you know, keep in contact with one another because we've got similar personalities and we like to do the same kind of stuff. And it's kind of like that's the bonding that happens. You put out and you bond over shared experience. And when you see somebody putting out stronger than you know, that's motivating. You know? And I couldn't be happier for him. He was in front the whole way. I held back a little bit at first because of the heat. The holding back for heat didn't necessarily pay off, but you know, to be honest, in this heat, I think you could overdo it, but there's a responsible way to do it, and I think everybody did it. You know, it was awesome.
It sucks. My chain, rubbed my neck raw, just for emergencies. Blistered, my lips were blistered and sunburned. I ran out of water because I was too arrogant to stop. But I beat somebody that I needed to beat, so I'm gonna go home and cry.
It was a good run. You know, I'm coming in this with an injury. I've got that torn labrum in my hip, but it's all about just pushing through it. I had a strategy in mind, which was nice and steady, hold it. I have little mind tricks I use for myself, and today the one was just imagining I had to go do a rescue mission for my daughter Jade, and that keeps me going no matter what, because she's the most important thing in my life. So never gonna quit, just keep going, trucking forward.
That run went long. That run took long. It went long. I'm not a runner. I got my pace, and actually one of the other contestants gave me some good advice on the way out. He said, "What are you doing running up the hill, man?" He said, "Save some gas for the way back." It was primarily uphill out and primarily downhill back. So with that good advice, I did better than I expected to, and actually survived the run. Done is done.
Yeah, but we just ran the 5 miles, and it's not something I've ever done before, so I got a running buddy, and she kept me going.
It was good. It was awesome. I think that it's always better to run with somebody because you'll push each other throughout the whole thing. And at the end, he pulled through. And
I was dying. She's like, keep coming, keep coming. She was my motivation. I've never run a 5 mile before. I probably would have stopped if it wasn't for her. So.
I saw you cutting out over there to get out of that.
I didn't want to have the cough, the black lung. Hey guys.
Get exposure and become a foot model now.
I need a job. If anybody's hiring foot models.
Oh my goodness, I was not ready for the run. We had to do bear crawls this morning and crab walks, and then we climbed that rock wall. So yeah, I was not prepared for a run today. But it was a nice walk through the desert for a couple, I don't know, hour or so.
We made it. Maybe not, maybe last, but we made it.
If you're out in front and you look back and the second person's a ways behind, there's no need for that person to run any faster. That person's got 155 points. If you're here, second or third or fourth place, and you can't beat that person, all you have to do is hold that. Because then you got 150, 145, 140 points. If you come in last, you're not gonna get any points. So it's really just trying to beat the people in front of you if you want the points. But there's a lot of points to be gained. Nick, the company commander, got the lead, was comfortable, he's relaxed. He'd look back every now and then, no need to go any faster. I've got the lead, I'm comfortable, I'm gonna get 155 points without hurting myself.
Yeah, Nick ended up having to run in his boots, but he's ran in boots before, trust me.
Yeah, sure. Hey, nice job on that run. It kind of got sprung on you. I know you didn't. I knew you knew it was coming up. You knew a 5 miler was coming up. That's the last of the big runs, and congratulations to you all.
I just earned the #1 spot this morning, and I didn't want it to be taken away. I kind of refocused myself, especially on this last event, which was a 5-mile run. So I kind of used that fire to drive me, and ended up taking first in that. I think I'm fairly in shape and have a good base at all the challenges here, and I think that's what's benefited me the most.
That night, the contestants were in for a real treat. Renee Enchautegi is a 16-year-old championship shooter who's been shooting since she was 7. She won 3 state championships in a row at age 14, 15, and 16, and has ranked in the top 10 nationally in the last 3 years.
We had a night shoot and it was fantastic. Not only was it presented well, but a youth champion shooter gave us a demonstration.
Using her signature AR-15 competition carbine line, clever by Renee, it was time for everyone to see how they stacked up against her.
We had a course of fire that involved different colored plates, and we had time to react to the initial engagement and then shoot a sequence of targets ending with a finishing plate. And you had to do it as fast as you could, and you were scored for time and impacts. It was very fun, and part of what made it fun is the sun was setting, and so the impacts on the steel were sparking, and it was low light, so we had illuminated optics. It was a really fun and quite challenging course of fire.
Dang it. That was still a really good time.
Call that a miss.
8:39.
This one was not for points, but it was a great way to end off an exciting day. On the next Surviving Mann.
3, 2, 1, go! Ed's gonna be walking around, Chris is walking around.
Some people's forms were a little questionable at times.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stay tuned.